Hey guys, welcome to another top 20 list. And Storm and I welcome you guys to this video. And what are you staring at? What are you staring at? Hey, what are you staring at? I don't know what she's staring at, but um these are the top 20, in my opinion, what I think are the most timeless movies of all time. And this was hard because I had to put my personal bias aside. That being said, a lot of my favorite films are on this list, but when I mean timeless, these are movies I think are films that will stand the test of time. And they have stand the test they have stand the test of time, but I feel like they will never be forgotten, these films. And that's why I avoided a lot of like newish films. I think I have like a couple kind of newish movies, but a lot of these are classics because it's hard to judge a movie on how timeless it is if it like just came out this year or last year or something like that. So for me, these are the 20 films I think most people can agree that these are timeless films, and these are films most people know about and they quote on their everyday lives and stuff. And I just feel like these films will always stand the test of time and they will always be timeless. And some are weird choices, I will admit, and I will, kind of talk about why I think they're still timeless, but let's just get to it. Number 20 is Jurassic Park. Of course, it's Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park will always stand the test of time as a timeless film because they're still making sequels to this fucking thing, and they're still trying to make a franchise out of it for some insane reason. Jurassic Park never needed a sequel. They didn't need The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World. They didn't need those movies. Jurassic Park was one standalone terrific film directed by Steven Spielberg. It is a great movie with great characters. It's got dinosaurs eating people. Awesome. It's got one of the most best John Williams scores I've ever heard. It's a movie everyone talks about. Everyone quotes, spare no expense. That was one big pile of shit. You do plan on showing dinosaurs in your dinosaur theme park. Like, everybody quotes Jurassic Park and everyone still talks about it. The book came out, but the book became popular when the movie came out because people were like, whoa, it's based off a book. So yeah, that's how much Jurassic Park means to a lot of people, and it's timeless. Like, even some of its CGI doesn't fully hold up, it's still timeless. It's Jurassic Park. Number 19 is Ghostbusters. Again, this is a film people are still trying to remake, make sequels, make property, comic books, shows, games. People still profit off of Ghostbusters is because Ghostbusters is one of the greatest comedies of all time. And just, most movies want to be like Ghostbusters and be as funny and as clever and as quotable as Ghostbusters. And again, some of its visuals are very dated, but the comedy will never date. It will still be lightning in a bottle. People still to this day still think you can never make a good Ghostbusters movie. I kind of agree, because even Ghostbusters 2 was a flawed movie, and the video game was probably the closest greatness to Ghostbusters since this 80s film. And I don't know. Ghostbusters is just, it'll never date to me, so it's Ghostbusters. Number 18 is The Princess Bride. Princess Bride is another. People have weddings dedicated to The Princess Bride. The Princess Bride, again, has the quotable characters, the memorable characters, the beautiful fantasy elements. It has everything like the grandfather says in the opening scene. It's got true love, fencing, sword fighting, monsters, death, true love. It's got it all. Just listen to Peter Falk. He knows what he's talking about. Princess Bride. Everybody loves Princess Bride. I've never met a single person who does not love The Princess Bride. That's why it's timeless. Number 17 is Die Hard. Most times when you ask someone what their favorite action movie is of all time, most people say Die Hard. When people ask like what their favorite Christmas movies are, most people say Die Hard. I don't need to say anything else other than yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Number 16 is The Lion King. The Lion King is the first movie I ever saw in theaters, and There's a reason why people hated that remake so much. It's because people loved The Lion King so much. Between the beautiful grand scope animation, Hans Zimmer score, and Elton John's amazing music, The Lion King, to a lot of people, is childhood. And even children now are being shown, not that piece of crap remake, the original classic Lion King. That will always be a timeless kids film. Period. Another timeless kids film, 15, Beauty and the Beast. Another timeless kids film. Fuck, this movie was the first animated film to be nominated for Best Picture. That's how good this movie is. And again, Disney's like, hey, people love The Lion King and Beauty and the Beast. Let's remake that shit and make it shit. That's what they did. Beauty and the Beast will never be dated. The spectacular animation, great characters, amazing music, and just beautiful storytelling. It will always be timeless. And continuing off with animation, and I know it's biased here, but most people can agree with me. 14 is Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a movie that more and more people watch and they see the brilliance of Spirited Away. And yes, this is more of like a worldwide feel, and just like, I know some people in like United States and like North America, some people still have not seen Spirited Away, and do yourself a favor and watch Spirited Away, but worldwide people talk about the brilliantness of Spirited Away. And the reason Ghibli is just like so huge is a lot due to Spirited Away, and just it put Ghibli on the map more. Like, people loved Ghibli, but after Spirited Away came out, other studios wanted to be like Ghibli because Spirited Away was that good, and it's still that good. Anyways, yeah. Number 13 is definitely the more current movie, but I feel like it will stand the test of time. It's an odd choice, but I feel like this movie will never date, and I feel like it will always be timeless. And that's Martin Scorsese's Hugo. It's a very weird choice, but just something about this movie feels timeless, and it feels like it will always still hold up, and it will still it'll still motivate people and inspire people. And it's not just a kids movie, but it's a movie about the love of cinema. And you don't get a lot of kids movies about the love of cinema. It's for film aficionados and for kids. And it's directed by one of the greatest crime filmmakers out there. It's a movie that shouldn't work this well, but it does. And I think it will never date for me. Number 12 is The Breakfast Club. Breakfast Club is another... Every teenager watches The Breakfast Club. Even now, different generations, people watch The Breakfast Club. My girlfriend is like 9 years younger than me, and she grew up with The Breakfast Club. And The Breakfast Club came out in 1985. I was born in 1991, and I grew up with The Breakfast Club. Every generation, each generation, people watch The Breakfast Club and relate to at least one or two or three characters in this movie. Despite it being cheesy and kind of silly at times, people will always remember and love The Breakfast Club. Because don't you ever forget about me. Breakfast Club, yes. Number 11 is Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins has just this breath of fresh air and has this beautiful music, these awesome characters, and just this care and creativity throughout this entire film. And again, it's so timeless. They've made movies about the making of it. They made a sequel to it. And people still, to this day, sing these songs. It is one of the most sung songs ever in most films. Fucking Mary Poppins. It could be a little corny in some of the animation with the live action. This doesn't always work perfectly. But it's still timeless. Coming at number 10 is T2 Judgment Day. I'm going to rush through this just because my camera is slowly dying, so I got to rush through this shit. T2 Judgment Day, I still think the first Terminator is better, but just the revolutionary of special effects, CGI, and practical effects together make this one of the most quotable, best action films ever made, and everyone still talks about how badass T2 is, so T2 is timeless. Number 9 is The Godfather, one of the greatest mob movies. It's got some of the best dramatic elements, some of the best characters, best writing you'll ever see in a movie. Probably the best adaptation to a book. All right, coming in number 8 is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's a very weird choice, but the comedy and again the characters, and it's like the movie everybody watches during the Thanksgiving. There's a lot of great like Christmas movies, Halloween movies, but there's not a lot of Thanksgiving movies. So everyone watches Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And this is why this movie is so timeless. It's because it talks about a holiday that a lot of people don't like to talk about for some reason. So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is always funny, and it's considered one of the best John Hughes movies, and I kind of agree. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Number 7 is Dumb and Dumber. Very weird choice, but I still think it's still one of the most quotable comedies of all time. Most people I know see Dumb and Dumber, and anytime they say they see a Jim Carrey movie, they talk about Dumb and Dumber and how crazy and weird and stupid it is. It is one of the best dumb comedies of all time. I know it's weird putting this on here, but everyone I talk to has seen this movie and still quote it and still love it. Everyone quotes Dumb and Dumber, so you're saying there's a chance. Number 6 is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I talked a lot about Indiana Jones in my last video. Raiders of the Lost Ark will always be a timeless action adventure fantasy movie with some of the best characters, best score, and it's Indiana Jones. Please don't make a 5th one. 4 is enough. Number 5. Number 5 is Rear Window. Rear Window is one of the best Alfred Hitchcock movies. When people talk about classic psychological thrillers, most people talk about Psycho, but I think more people talk about Rear Window and how it's actually better than Psycho. Trust me. Watch it. Number 4 is Toy Story. You Got a Friend in Me. Probably the most quoted animated films of all time. Thanks to its amazing characters, amazing friendships, and its amazing life lessons, and its groundbreaking CGI animation. Toy Story. Number 3, The Big Lebowski. Definitely one of the most interesting, intriguing, clever, comedic stoner films ever made. This is a film that did horrible when it came out, and now more and more people are loving it, and they even talk about this in college courses, and there's whole books about dudism. It's so weird. It's so amazing. It'll never date. It's fucking Big Lebowski. Number 2 is Casablanca, probably the most talked about black and white film other than Citizen Kane. Citizen Kane, there's still this like divisiveness now because young people are starting to like, oh, it's not that great and stuff. It is. Casablanca, though, most people love and most people enjoy. And I still think to this day, people will consider the greatest romance film of all time. Number 1, though, is the Harry Potter series. I've never seen a franchise, other than like maybe Star Wars, that has been talked about the most and quoted the most, other than Harry Potter. Star Wars, I would say Star Wars, but it's been a little tainted by Disney, and some people are getting this like sour taste of Star Wars, and even some of the Marvel films. But Harry Potter doesn't have that taintedness, and people still love Harry Potter and want to talk about Harry Potter. People won't even want to talk about what houses they're in and stuff. I've never seen people like love Harry Potter so much. And I'm one of them. Harry Potter, to me, will always be like one of the great franchises between its books and its amazing films. And even like Fantastic Beasts aren't that great, but people still love Harry Potter and still quote Harry Potter, and it'll always be amazing. So for me, those are the top 10 most timeless films in my opinion. Again, my opinion. So in the comment section below, please tell me. Sorry for the rush, but you guys can tell me, what do you guys think are the most timeless films? What do you guys think will stand the test of time and they will never date, in your opinion? Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and join the dark side.